Now that Disney Dreamlight Valley's The Storybook Vale expansion has seemingly come to a close, the anticipation is higher than ever for the developers' annual showcase, where they will likely reveal what's next in terms of DDV's additional content. However, while Part 2 was seemingly marketed as Storybook Vale's finale, there's one thing that may indicate it's not over why EDS may remember A Rift in Time, DDV's first DLC, originally launched in a series of 3 parts that concluded with an after-credits tease for what ultimately ended up being the Storybook Vale. Now that the Storybook Vale's finale has also been released for players to experience, many are eager to find out whether it will offer a similar sneak peek of what's to come. Storybook Vale finale teases new content. If you've been wondering whether the Storybook Vale has an after-credits scene, I can confirm that there's additional content waiting for you after the credits, just like with A Rift in Time. However, it may be even more mysterious than the glimpse we saw at the end of A Rift in Time. While that teaser showcased not only the Lore Keeper, but Hades and Maleficent too, the Storybook Vale's after-credits scene is a bit more vague. Unfortunately, no characters were directly glimpsed in the brief teaser, so there's no confirmation of anyone like there was before. However, we did catch a glimpse of Shadow that is pretty hard to miss, but only raised more questions than it gave answers that I end the post-credit scene. We start with a view of a small home in the middle of the forest. Slowly, the camera pans to the left, and a wooden board comes into view displaying a wanted poster for Flynn Rider, before a shadow falls over it. Then the camera zooms out, revealing the shadow of a horse before the scene abruptly ends. While there is, of course, nothing solid here, debates have already kicked off over what this could mean. Characters from Snow White, Tangled, and more may be joining DDV soon, obviously. Without any sort of confirmation from Gameloft, all we can do is speculate at this point. But several clues could indicate what's next for DDV. While there is some debate about whether the horse's shadow that's shown in the teaser is Maximus or Samson, Prince Philip's horse, I think I have to go with the fact that it's likely Maximus. Not only is the horse's mane flowing, but it feels clear to me that the poster Flynn is meant to indicate that the horse is looking for him, which Maximus spends all of Tangled doing. However, the home in the background is what players are really curious about. Although it looks a bit like Snow White's cottage, a closer look reveals that it's actually the Snuggle Duckling Tavern House from Dreamlight Valley's premium shop. That being said, just because it's not Snow White's cottage doesn't mean she won't be part of the next DLC. A lot of players are speculating that the next DLC will revolve around famous Disney animals, and that's right in Snow White's wheelhouse. In fact, one thing Maximus and Snow White's characters share is their heavy association with apples. So, revealing Maximus could be a way of hinting at Snow White as well. There's also a chance it could be referencing the Evil Queen, but both A Rift in Time and the Storybook Vale have included at least one Disney princess each, so it seems only natural that the next would include one as well, and with limited options remaining, she's the obvious choice. All that being said, given the focus on yet another character from Tangled, which has one character in each of the 3 available pieces of DDV content, there is speculation that the next DLC may link all existing content. Although it is a bit disappointing to see more content from an already heavily established franchise, as there are still several franchises yet to be explored, it could mean that we at least get notable characters related to those in the base game and DLCs that are notably missing. What does this mean for DDV's next expansion with Rapunzel and A Rift in Time, Flynn in Storybook Vale, and Mother Got Hell in Dreamlight Valley? Maximus seems like an obvious chance to tie the 2 DLCs and base game together. Additionally, if Snow White is the primary character and the DLC centers around animal companions from Disney media, then this is a perfect opportunity to tie in with other characters throughout the game as well. After all, several notable animal companions are missing from the game, while some companions, like Pua, have been brought in as actual companions. This doesn't seem likely for characters like Sebastian or Maximus, who have a much stronger presence in their films and lots of personality. Of course, then you also have a character like Prince Naveen, who is human but spends almost all of his movie as a frog, and could easily fit into a DLC focused around animals. The other primary speculation when it comes to the sneak peek is that it is not a traditional DLC like the others at all. Given that nothing indicated a new character or franchise specifically, like A Rift in Time did, this could simply be an expansion on Storybook Vale, A Rift in Time, or the base game in the sense that it is not a new world and will instead expand a world we already have, which if that is the case, would likely be Storybook Vale, given how much focus was placed on Flynn. However, given how many paths there still are in the Dreamlight Castle where you access the expansions, it's obvious that more traditional expansions are still on the way, whether this teaser is about them or not. Although we have no solid answers yet, it's safe to say that if it is Maximus who is looking for Flynn, then Disney Dreamlight Valley may not be done with their other expansions just yet.